more forceful.
Good evening. This is a Park and Rec Commission meeting for Thursday, April 25th, 2024. I'm going to call the meeting to order, and we do have a quorum. Please rise. Pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right.
First order of business is approval of minutes from the March 21st
Motion
meeting.
to approve.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Now we have commission elections. I would be happy to be chairman again if anybody would want to nominate me.
I'll nominate you.
I'll second.
Is there any other nominations? Otherwise, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you. And then we need a secretary / co-chair, and Craig would be willing to do that again if there's somebody that would make a motion.
I'll make that motion. Second.
Motion and a second. Any other nominations or discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Congratulations.
You too.
Thank you.
No, thank you guys. Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
We'll see about an increase in pay for it.
Yeah.
We're gonna double that.
We'll give you 100% raise. Okay, unfinished business. We have the proposed renovations to Jim and Ann White Family Camp Cabin at Ridge Run Park. Rick, you're going to start that off?
I am. Good evening. Yes, tonight we're requesting commission approval to proceed with the planned improvements at the Ridge Run cabin known as the Jim and Ann White Family Cabin. We do have an anonymous donor who stepped forward to fund the project. To date, they have donated $5,000 for some of the preliminary costs, including design. We're at the point where we have completed bid documents so we can proceed to the bid phase. A quick summary of the project. The overall project budget is about $124,500 with a base bid budgeted at $112,000. That base bid that we hope to let would include interior improvements, including finishes, paneling, ceiling, flooring, new windows and doors, electrical upgrades, lighting, and a storage closet. We would also let purchase orders for fireplace improvements. In that budget, the fireplace has structural deficiencies that require repair. We would also install a gas insert to improve the heating and function of the fireplace. Exterior improvements would include an accessible wood deck to expand the use of the building, a new entry structure, a gabled awning at the entrance, repairs to siding, soffit, and exterior painting. We also plan to bid an alternate in the general contract that would install a kitchenette with sink and cabinets to improve the use for rentals. That budget is approximately $11,000. All told, again, the project budget is about $124,500. We hope to send the project out to bid in May with a construction start date in mid to late September that would last about 60 days. With that, if you have any questions, you have to answer them.
Where's the financing coming from for the rest of the $100,000?
Well, the total cost of the project is coming from our donor, and that those funds have been agreed upon by this donor upon approval to proceed to the bid phase.
Okay.
No, it all looks wonderful. It's like brand new cottage.
It is. It'll give it a nice facelift, which is very much needed at this point, and we think it'll expand the popularity and use and the income that we draw from the use of the facility.
And all ADA accessible too.
Yes, that was our first criteria. Yep.
If there's any other questions or comments, otherwise we need a motion to go ahead with the project.
Second.
Any other questions for Rick? There's a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thanks, Rick. Next, we have new business, Regner Park Bike Trail Development, presentation by Gears. Craig, you're going to start that?
Yeah, so tonight we have a joint proposal between Gears and NICA groups to utilize some of the wooded area in the west side of Regner Park to build some permanent mountain bike trails. These would be urban trails that would be utilized by mountain bikers, and NICA, well, Jaden will get into it, but NICA is our local mountain bike high school and middle school group that is competing with other groups in the area. So Jaden has put together a proposal for you, and this is in cooperation with Gears, local group. So go ahead, Jaden.
Go ahead.
Good evening. My name is Jaden Schumacher. I live at 301 Richards Place, West Bend, Wisconsin, and I'm an 8th grade student at St. Francis Cabrini. I am on the Trail Sharks MTB team and love to mountain bike. I also enjoy building mountain bike trail and was offered the opportunity by Gears to lay one out at Regner Park. This was really exciting to me because the park offers great topography for a green level trail. Regner is also close to downtown West Bend and is easily accessible to kids like me who are able to ride to Regner by bike paths and sidewalks. My mountain biking team will also benefit from the green level trails and convenient location. Speaking of my mountain biking team, let me tell you a little bit about Trail Sharks. It is an MTB team that comprises of over 50 athletes in Washington County. The middle and high schoolers have practices in hopes to prepare themselves for races all over Wisconsin. Currently, we practice at Glacial Blue Hills, Newfane, Pleasant Valley, and Regner. Other teams also utilize these trails, and Gears expects other NICA teams to benefit from MTB trails at Regner. So, what is the current status of biking at Regner? Well, there are a mixture of hiking paths and other multi-use trails that are not designated for any specific purpose. One important topic I would like to mention is how this project will help Regner. We would like to build a trail that is more conducive to mountain biking. The new trail would respect the hiking paths at Regner and encourage separation of the two different forms of activities. NICA teams and West Bend residents would benefit from the green level trails. Mountain bikers and winter fat bikers will have improved trail close to downtown West Bend. So, what will the trails look like? They would be green level trails, which are like skinny dirt paths weaving throughout the woods. Regner Park is ideally suited for entry-level trails that can be made with low-impact construction. What does the proposed finished product look like? A one-way, single-track loop that will be about 2 miles long, shown in orange. A two-way connector trail from the loop to the trailhead at the main parking lot, shown in purple. Bike trails will cross hiking trails at 90 degrees to ensure that trails stay separate. Signage will direct bikes onto the bike trail and away from hiking paths. How will it get done? Well, Gears is going to organize volunteers into several work days and provide know-how and tools. Signage material and installation will be funded by Gears. Gears can organize construction dates as early as May. Construction of trail is expected to be completed within 4 to 6 weeks so that trail sharks can ride it in July. What questions do you have?
Well, I grew up next to Regner Park, so as a kid, my whole life I spent in that woods, and it's beautiful. I mean, it's underutilized is what I always thought, you know. So to me, I think it's a great thing. I think it'll be used, and like I said, it's so beautiful back there with the hills and all the turns and corners. So I'm all for it.
Cool, thank you.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea too, Jaden. Because they all are multi-use, there's not going to be any wicked berms or anything that if someone wants to safely hike it, they can do that?
Yeah, they probably could.
No, it's a great idea.
Thanks.
Any other comments or questions? You're all done?
We would need approval then, Mike, to move forward with it.
Is there a motion to approve this project?
I make the motion.
Second, anyone?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thanks, and good luck.
Thanks.
You did a great job up there too. For an 8th grader, you did a great job.
I should have done this earlier, but we have a new member. Congratulations on your election to the Common Council. Mary Beth Sizer is a representative on the commission, so welcome. Next on the agenda is special events, no fee required events. Mike, you're going to do this?
Yes, I'll take those. You won't hurt our feelings if you leave. We get it. All right, this evening we have 3 special events, no fee events. The first one will be the Luminary Walkout at Lac Loran, October 19th of this year. That would be put on by our department and the Friends of Lac Loran. The second event would be for the Enchantment in the Park. This is, again, a no-fee event. That is part of the MOU that the Rotary has with the city of West Bend. And those dates are November 24th through November 29th through December 24th. And the last one at no fee would be the Reindeer Run. This is scheduled for December 14th of this year. This would be a city function and a Friends of Park and Recreation function. So those would be the 3 no-fee events for this evening.
Motion to approve.
I second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Special event, Casa Guadalupe Fiesta Latina.
We got one before that, Mike, Alzheimer's.
Okay, let's do Walk to End Alzheimer's, Saturday, September 14th.
Okay, thanks, Mike. Again, yep, Saturday, September 14th. This is an annual event held in Regner Park. It's a walk to put a focus on Alzheimer's. You can see the fees for the rental fees, impact fees, things like that below. Great organization to work with, nice community event.
Motion to approve.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Casa Guadalupe Fiesta Latina.
Fiesta Latina this year is moving from May to September. And in the past, it was always one day, and now it's going to be 2 days. So we're looking at September 20th and 21st. Again, same organization, great community event. But instead of 1 day in May, it's 2 days in September. The associated fees are down below.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Is there any questions, comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. And then NAMI, Washington County Afternoon in the Park.
Yes, sir. That is scheduled for September 28th, again in Regner Park. It's been an annual event. It's been a real good event. The associated fees are on the bottom of the sheet there.
Be nice to have events in September down
Yes.
there. All summer and then September yet. Is there a motion to approve?
I motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
Motion and second. Any other comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Carolyn, we got a resolution authorizing transfer of YARC funds for payment and expenses.
Yeah, this is to pay for recent expenses when the Special Olympics athletes traveled to Oshkosh State overnight for a basketball tournament. So requesting a transfer of $559.45 to pay for that expenses. This would be transferred out of that therapeutic rec account and into an expense account from which it's paid. This item will also go to Common Council on May 6th.
That's what the money's there for.
Move to approve.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Donations.
All right, I have the first donation. It is from the Friends of West Bend Parks and Recreation for $261 for the sponsorship for the championship teams for our women's volleyball league. So thank you to Friends of Parks and Recreation for that.
I have the next two. First one, West Bend Riverside Disc Golf Club donated $180 for general disc golf course improvements. Thank you to the Disc Golf Course Club. The second one I have is from Whitetails Unlimited. It's a donation of $500. It's for archery range improvements. Thank you to Whitetails Unlimited.
Is there a motion to approve these?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you. We'll move to reports. Chairman, I'll just say thank you for electing me again. And then I want to thank the Roots and Branches and Milwaukee River Keepers and all the volunteers for the Saturday cleanup at our parks and rivers. They did a great job. And then, of course, the announcement, the Lac La Reine plant sale is May 11th from 9 to 1. Hope to see everybody there. Secretary, you got anything?
Yeah, just thank you for putting your confidence in me as secretary of the commission. I appreciate
Take good
it.
minutes.
Yeah.
That's a great gig you got going on. I mean, with the bikers and all that stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
I liked more use at the park. I think that's a thumbs up all the way.
Yeah, and I think it's going to bring in people from other communities as
Right.
well. You know,
Right.
Grafton, they ride out Glacial Blue, but it's closer to the downtown, so it's going to support the businesses there.
I agree.
Yeah.
C, quarterly trust report.
All right, in front of you, you have the financial report for the first quarter of this year. The two big items I'll say we can discuss would be the park acquisition fees. That is an increase of $223,000. That is for the West Bend Transit Development, residential development over there. The next large increase we will see in that account, somewhere down the road here, not that far, would be the Sand Drive development. That'll be an additional $346,000 for acquisition fees. The one item that has not been removed is the $75,000 for the nature playground. It just hasn't been reflected on this sheet yet, so. Then the other one I just wanted to mention was the dog park fees and donations at $7,100. That is low. I can tell you, over the last 4 years, every year, we're about $1,000 less on those annual fees. So part of it is, are less people using the property? No. We actually had a meeting, the dog park volunteers, a couple weeks ago about planning for the future, expanding the fenced-in area growth out there. We're gonna come up with some new ideas as to how we can regulate who's using the property. Right now, annual fees at $25 a year. It's been $25 a year for forever. So we're gonna look at possibly increasing that. It's just such a challenge. If you pay your annual fee, do you get a wristband? Do you put something in your dog's collar? What happens if you forget it that day? Who's going to enforce that? So some of those hurdles we went through 15 years ago to establish what we have today, I think we're gonna have to go through some of that again. But an annual, or an increase of the annual fee will probably come before this commission at some point in time this year. We are working on a priority list, excuse me, for the dog park. Future growth, again, they're really asking a lot for another fenced-in area, almost another 10-acre area. That's how the use is out there. But we're also looking at, if we do that, we need more benches, we need more of this, we need more of that. So we want to set up some fundraising guidelines, just like what we did the first time around. If you want to sponsor a bench in the new park, you know, you'll have your name engraved on it and all that stuff. So we'll have that fee structure set up, and we can discuss that more in the future, but those are the two items on the financial report kind of wanted to mention. The dog park's been a huge success. We don't need those revenues to start just tailing off. We know people are using it, and more people today than ever before. You look at the district development, West Bend Transit Development, TIF 16, all these people are gonna be coming into this community, many of them with not a large backyard for their dog. Well, where are they gonna walk their dog? I mean, Riverwalk, Isabon, sure, but our dog park's even gonna become more valuable, so.
And that land back there, that we own that, but we don't do anything with it right now anyway, right?
Right, so the entire park is 80 acres, the back 40, literally the back 40 acres is in the town, and it's classified as town parkland. The front 40 that we have up on 18th Avenue, we have about 10 acres fenced in, so we have about 30 acres there yet. And we knew at some point in time we would expand and all that stuff. And the majority of that property was purchased with stewardship funds. We have one little area carved out for active recreation, but the stewardship funds require us to only allow passive recreation. So a dog park is passive recreation, so if we expand the dog park on that property, it just goes hand in hand with, you know, the original intent and things like that. So, no, we talked additional fencing, additional parking, even a cold storage building, not just 1 year out, how about 1, 3, 5, 10, 15 years, so.
Good idea. All right, we don't need a motion on that, it's just a report. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
And Courtney isn't here tonight, but we all got that email. She's busy with the plant sale and with teaching and everything. So, Rick, you have anything else?
A couple things to touch on. The annual tree surety contract that was bid last fall is underway. Our contractor started planting trees this past week. There's going to be a total of 274 trees planted across the city. A number of those are free tree requests, street trees at residences across town. But in addition, we'll be planting about 47 trees at Regner Park and about 50 trees at the newly completed Riverwalk phases on the west side. So that should be completed in the next few weeks. And Mike mentioned the nature playground at LLC. Good deal of my time is going to be devoted towards progressing the design and plans to get that work underway. That's it.
Great, thank you. Recreation Supervisor, Ryan, you have anything?
Yeah, a couple of things to touch on. Spring sports, so youth baseball, soccer, track and field, and archery have all started. Enrollment numbers are solid there, and the staff's been doing a good job. I've attended the first couple of weeks of both, but I think I'll kind of start weaning off and let them handle that on their own. Able to get a couple of rookie instructors that are also going to be working in the summer, so that's a win-win for both me and the new employees. Summer registration began late March for residents and early April for non-residents. We're still a month and a half out from go time for summer, but I'm happy again with the registration numbers currently and where we're at. Some of the highlights, I guess I'll hit on quickly. Our youth theater program, which has been successful for quite some time. There's 40 spots available for that program. It filled within 2 hours and 8 minutes, I believe it was. So from 6 a.m. to 8:08 in the morning, 40 spots were filled. So super exciting to see that. We run a tennis league at the high school, at the tennis courts there. For the older age group, there's 50 slots available. For the younger group, we increased it from 35 to 40. The older age group is filled with 50, and the younger group's at 35. I would assume we'll get the extra 5 spots and hit 40 there. So another successful program. And then youth dance, so we run those in the evenings out of the LRC. I was just tallying it up. So far, we have 156 participants signed up through 15 different classes, so different styles of dance and age levels, so a little over 10 per class there. Some of them are filled with 20, so there's a little bit of fluctuation, but again, another super great program that we run that the enrollment's kind of a testament to how popular they are and how much people enjoy what we are offering on the recreation side of things. Skate park update. So the Friends of West Bend Skate Park has met twice in April discussing a wide variety of things. Most recently, we received our 501c3 designation from the IRS, so we are a legitimate nonprofit organization and we're able to operate as one now, so that's a big box checked. At the meetings, we've mainly been discussing locations and considerations of each of the locations that we're considering. We did start with a list of 23 locations. At our last meeting on Tuesday night, we took 23 and narrowed it down to 6. The group is going to meet next Tuesday, April 30th, and then we're going to do site visits on 6 sites. The 6 sites are Badger Middle School off of Oak Street, Riverside Park by the 18th hole on the disc golf course, a portion of the old Gale property on the northwest corner of Riverside Park, Custer Island Parkway, and then 2 locations in Regner Park, one at the soccer field / overflow parking lot off of Park Street, and then in the outfield of Carl Cuss Field near the sport court. Of course, we, being the city, don't own the Gale property nor Badger Middle School, so if we decided that one of those 2 were the property that we wanted to go with, we would obviously ask the respective owners of said properties if there would be any interest in any type of potential land donation or housing the skate park for us and working in unison with our group. So yeah, making some progress there, and we'll have a location hopefully picked out in May, and we'll be presenting that to you for your approval, just so that the group is aware of what's to come in May. A couple more things. I'm not done yet, sorry. Youth dance recital this Saturday starts at 3:30 at the West Bend High School auditorium. Other than the mud run, this is the recreation department's biggest event of the year. I'd say probably 400 to 500 parents will be there, parents and family members. The theme for this year's recital is the Eras Tour. So Mike, Carolyn, and myself are going to be fortunate enough to listen to 24 Taylor Swift songs over the course of about 2 hours. Regner operations, getting closer to that beginning. As it sits currently, 35 lifeguards and 9 to 11 beach house attendants. There's still 2 I'm waiting to hear back from. If I did end up with 9, I had so many applications that finding another 1 or 2 would be a piece of cake. Just taking the time to interview the individual and making sure that he or she's a good fit. Inflatables, I don't know if you guys happen to have seen, but we posted those on Facebook. Pretty positive response. It kind of made me worry more so that we're not going to have enough space to occupy the demand of what people are going to want to be using. So Mike and I met early this week to kind of game plan that and map it out. I can do a little bit of a report on that sometime in May just to kind of inform the commission on how the inflatable zone will be operating for the summer. And lastly, the flyer that's printed off in front of you is the new Welcome to Summer Beach House Beer Garden on both Friday, May 31st and Saturday, June 1st. Fortunate enough to have Craig and all of the Gears people that were here earlier helping us out to operate that. The main, I guess, agenda behind this is, again, to help offset some of the operating costs of running Regner in the summer, just to kind of remind the commission that we did anticipate about a $23,000 loss by operating Regner in the summer of '24. That was projecting 15% growth across the board on all numbers from the 2023 numbers. So hopefully 23,000 is a realistic loss, but hopefully we could also do better on top of that. So come out, it'll be fun. We got a good variety of beers, some food trucks, and some performers on each night. So it'll be a good time.
Sounds like fun. Any questions for Ryan? Thanks, Ryan. Dan, you have anything for us?
Couple things. Stumping's starting tomorrow. We tried to give it a little run the other day, ran into some hotline issues. So we're probably gonna knock those out in the next 3 to 4 days. Roughly have about 80 stumps to do, to correlate with our contractor as far as tree planting as well. Some of those locations are getting replanted. Ryan touched on it a little earlier. We blew up all the inflatables, had them in a shop, tried to narrow down how we're gonna anchor them, anchor locations, et cetera. Guys have been building, pouring additional anchors. They're a little bit, the obstacles are a little bit bigger than we remember. So, which is a good thing. So probably within the next week or two, we'll be pumping the pond down and getting those anchors placed so that we can start moving forward, filling the pond up. I got two of my more experienced seasonals back. Willie and Rick McGarvey came back, started working. As of right now, I am at 7 seasonal helpers. So if you've seen the Facebook post out there, I can use at least 5 or 6. So if anybody knows of anybody looking for a summer job, please have them forward something down to the Parks Workshop. Lawn mowing's ramping up. Park prep, we're getting rentals are starting to go. Ball fields are hot and heavy already. Rental spaces, yeah. Big thank you to the fishing clinic. It was a huge success. 661 kids. What I talked to Mike Sarge, 2+ dozen trout were caught, 16, 18-inch perch.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Saw
So
pictures.
we got pictures, Mike. We got pictures.
I didn't see the picture.
Yeah. So there was a lot of fish caught. Very positive event for our parks. So, and the last thing we're doing is we're working on building a whole bunch of stuff for Nature Playground. We bought an Alaskan sawmill, which we attached to a chainsaw. We started cutting a couple of our own boards. We got an A-frame built out of all that stuff for the town section of the Nature Playground. So we're starting to get ready for that too. So that's
Great.
what I got.
Can I ask, the inflatables, are they going to go on the east side of the Regner pond, or where are you planning on?
So this fall, we had the pond dug out a little bit bigger,
Right.
the diving area.
Yeah.
But then we also had the depth brought up as far as the north side, because the inflatables go from 6 to 8 foot fall zone depending on which one's where.
Yep.
Okay, so if you're, let's say you're standing, looking at the beach house, all right? So between us and the beach, well, this is gonna be hard to, like, you remember how the raft used to be facing east?
Yes.
The raft's gonna do a 90 and
Oh.
face north. And it's gonna be tucked into the southwest corner of the diving area. So then it's gonna be pushed out of the zone a little bit, because you only
Okay.
need the depth for the diving board, okay? So then on the north side, like, let's say it's facing the splash pad, you're gonna be coming, the biggest slide will be by itself. And I'm envisioning, correct me if I'm wrong, Ryan, but the stairwell will be facing the beach house and you'll slide eastward towards the obstacle course.
Right.
So then that obstacle course, which is 3 obstacles and then a couple of platforms, will run north to south for 56 feet.
Okay.
So it's hard to explain.
No, I
But,
I
yeah.
understand, I know what you're talking about, so.
And then on the other side of that obstacle, we have another, it's like one of those long mats you see in the lake.
Yep.
It's 18 feet long, and then that'll go to like an octagonal, just like floaty raft. So that'll also be included.
Oh, cool.
So,
Has the guy who set those up in the past, has he been out? I
yeah.
know he offered.
Well, some of the staff contacted, because we bought him from Kewaskum, his name, I don't know, but he was willing to come down, and we just haven't connected.
Okay.
So,
Great.
I think that'll be a plus, I really do.
Oh, yeah. It's gonna be fun. Any other questions or comments? Mike, got any reports for us?
A couple
Thanks,
quick
Dan.
things. You had already mentioned the May 11th plant sale out at Lac Lorraine. That is the largest fundraising event out at that property on an annual basis. So that is a big deal for those volunteers out there. Also, May 18th is the Roots and Branches plant sale here at City Hall. May 30th is the next commission meeting. And my last item is a new program this year. One and only Rick Fox has been part of the Chamber Leadership Group, And his project this year, his team project, is a fun and fit for over 50 people with the senior center. Originally, it was going to be Senior Olympics and this and that, things like that. But they have settled on the Senior Citizens Activities Incorporated Fun Fit Games for 50. So they have different events, May 20th through June 7th. Their kickoff 5K walk is going to be through Regner Park. They have all kinds of different events set up at the Senior Center, pickleball down at Jackson, pickleball at Quas Creek, and some events out at Stingers, things like that. So it's good. Rick is new to West Bend, so I really like the leadership program that the chamber puts on. So it's really good opportunity for Rick to get acclimated to West Bend, the history of it, things like that, help put something like this together. And then when we're downtown with the likes of Peter Ziegler and things like that, Rick knows the history, and that's important. That's part of those discussions when we're down there. So good job for Rick and his group, and we really appreciate, another cool community event like this in West Bend. So
Nice.
thank you.
Any questions for Mike? Anything else? If not, I will adjourn.